Explorer the Last Tepui is a brand new special on National Geographic in which a team of explorers set out into the Amazon jungle to discover one of the last unexplored regions on the planet. We spoke to the people behind the show. Here now is my conversation with biologist and climber Fuco Pisani. Check it out.
First ascents are basically modern exploration. When you're climbing a piece of rock that no human has ever touched, you literally step into the unknown.
Hey, it feels like you had an inordinate amount of pressure suddenly put on you
Yes,
on this expedition. Um,
indeed.
Talk to me about that, because suddenly the burden of discovering a new species was on you.
Yeah, all the burden was actually on Dr. Bruce. He was responsible for looking for the frogs. He's a specialist on frogs, and I wasn't worried until he couldn't come on the wall. So
Right.
all the responsibility got on my shoulders. I had to look for the damn frog in the middle of a cliff.
Because a lot of people have to worry about one thing. They have to be either worry about being a climber or a biologist. And you had to worry about both. So what was that like for you, as in suddenly having to trawl through, I guess when you reached the summit plateau, it looked like an alien environment to me. It looked very
Oh, yeah.
different. What was that like?
Well, I actually have been climbing tepuis for over 30 years, almost 30 years. But the first time was when I was starting my biology career as a student, when I was 19 years old. And I was just mesmerized by the diversity and the strange forms and shapes of life on top of the tepuis. And 30 years after, I'm still surprised of the diversity and the shapes and how uncommon is that environment.
I took away so much from watching this. I think it introduced me to a world that I had absolutely no idea existed. I'm curious
Oh,
as to how it changed your view of the world.
I actually made a career around climbing because I started climbing in the Tepuis. Was my first exposure to big wall climbing, and it influenced all my view as a biologist and as a climber. And I actually still doing my life around the Tepuis. I have a project of conservation with the local guides, climbing guides, and expedition guides. And I'm trying to teach science and exercise to those guys to better preserve the environment.
What do you hope people will take away from this? I think in the show you guys talk a lot about how you hope governments will get inspired by watching this and seeing the biodiversity and hopefully doing more to preserve these places. But what do you hope the average viewer will take away from it?
Well, I think the average viewer will take the beauty of the place. It's like a nature's sculpture. The mountains are just breathtaking, and the environment is so unique, so different from anything else in the world, that it should be preserved. At least intuitively, you should think that.
No, you're absolutely right. I think I was telling Dr. Bruce that I was deeply moved and emotional watching this. I didn't expect to be emotional watching a 58-minute documentary on National Geographic about the taboos, but let me tell you, I was. And
Oh, that's inspiring.
I think there will be an impact on, I guess, the way that even we see the world. Like, I'm so far removed from the Tepui out here in Malaysia, and I think I don't know what I can do, but it's inspired me to want to do something.
I believe education is a key part of conservation. If everybody develops some sensibility towards nature, that would definitely get to the policies at the international level, multinational level. Because I mean, we humans made that policies. So if everybody gets educated and sensible to the beauty of nature and the importance of science, well, that should be the norm.
Fingers crossed, and hopefully shows like this go a long way to inspiring that. Fuco, it's been an absolute pleasure. What you guys have done is absolutely incredible. So thank you so much for that.
Oh, thank you.
Only our feet have been here that I'm aware of.
That was Fuco Pisani. He is a biologist, he is a climber, and you can see him on Explorer The Last Tepui, which is now streaming on Disney Plus Hotstar. Don't forget to check out our interviews with the rest of the team behind this incredible expedition right here on YouTube. Watch it, like it, subscribe to us, tell your friends, tell your family. You know what to do.